the state attorney's office already before I even got here.
Okay.
So they told me if there's a violation of the injunction, that they would follow through with it.
The deputies are heading back.
Judge DeThomasis has mandated that both lawyers, mine and LIEnette's, and myself and LIEnette, must appear in court this morning at 10 a.m., 3 days before the final hearing. He's up to something, and we don't know what it is yet. Instead of living our peaceful life, hidden out in the woods here in Otter Creek, we were stalked. And now we have to go back to court again today for a frivolous hearing based on her side. Don't worry, we're going after her for all the criminal things she's done as well. But we've got questions. Will Judge DeThomas remove the temporary injunction? Oh, will John CROOK be parked outside yet again, breaking the civil protection order for the 4th time in a row? Will Amanda, the advocate for victims, which, by the way, I was a victim in regards to Mary. I was a victim in regards to Michelle McCain, the underwear bandit. I'm a victim in regards to LIEnette. Will she show up in the back of the court again, like she did in hearing number 3? What about Russ the Sus? Will he be there?
They're both in there.
I need to file a report for someone violating a civil protection order that I have against them.
What's the address?
Right now I'm at the Levy County Courthouse.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, so what happened, John?
So I'm
you got
here.
A court hearing today?
Yes, we have court hearing today scheduled for 10 a.m.
Okay.
I'm here as a witness. John doesn't need to be here because he's not a witness, but he's sitting outside in the Jeep right now.
Which Jeep is that?
They are parked across. They're parked.
The white Jeep?
The white Jeep with the red handles, right in front of the courthouse.
Okay. So when you came here, you pulled into this parking lot?
Yes. So they were already parked there.
Okay.
And then we parked into this parking lot, and then I called Levy County Sheriff immediately.
Okay. So
He's violating the 500. Yes.
Okay.
Because he doesn't need to be here.
Is he with the child?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. So I called the state attorney's office already before I even got here.
Okay.
So they told me if there's a violation of the injunction, that they would follow through with it.
Okay.
So now it's my job to obviously determine if there is a violation of the injunction.
Okay.
So he was here first?
Yes.
When you showed up?
Yeah.
So when you showed up, did you immediately park in here?
Yes.
Okay.
And we have that on film as well.
Did he say anything to you? Anything like that? Nothing like that? So I'll talk. Is he still in there? Do you know if he's still in there? Okay.
Yeah, he's sitting there.
I'll talk to him. He might not even know you were in the parking lot.
In the heat of the moment, both this deputy, who is one of Levy County's finest, I really mean that, he's incredible, and I've told all of his superior officers that as well, and George both forget a fundamental issue here. There are 2 civil protection orders, one on John, one on LIEnette, and it protects both me and George. And knowingly, John has been to the courthouse 3 times already. He is under investigation for the previous 3 times by Levy County. And this is the 4th time. He blocked my way into the courthouse, which I don't have time to call the sheriff. It was, George, you got to call the sheriff and report this. And so in the heat of it, they're forgetting the fundamental thing. John is well within 500 feet of me and George. Whether he knew George was there or not, he has absolute knowledge that I'm there and absolute knowledge that he's already under investigation for the previous 3 offenses.
But I'll talk to him. And see where it goes from there.
He knows. I mean, it was scheduled. He knows.
So it's a little bit different because you guys are at the courthouse, and you guys well, technically, I don't know what type of business he has here, per se. So I don't know if he's watching the child but is Miss Preston inside?
She's inside.
So she's got the hearing today.
Correct.
With Jeremy.
Correct.
And you were supposed to be.
I'm here as a witness.
Okay.
He's not here as a witness.
Did they call you in as a witness yet?
No, I wanted to wait till I spoke with you guys before I go in because I would like for you to. escort me in, and then I also
Yeah,
need you to
absolutely.
go to his vehicle to see that he's in there.
Yeah, no, and I will be speaking with him.
Him watching the child out of the vehicle is
Okay.
not an excuse. They have a home. He could be watching her from home.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll talk to him. We'll see what's going on. I'm gonna see if he was even aware that you're even here. If he's not even aware that you're here, like I said, he was here first, and then you pulled into here, so he might not even have seen you pull in.
He knows. He saw me recording him as we drove by.
So when you pull, like I said,
And
so he was parked up there, right?
So this, just to be clear, this is the 4th time he's been here when he didn't need to be here. And every time he's here, I record it for court purposes, and he sees me recording him. This isn't his first offense. This is the 4th time he's been here
Have
to
you
court.
guys mentioned it when you went up to the judge?
Yes.
What did the judge say?
I don't remember, but Ohio courts is aware, and it's been mentioned here.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me go talk to John.
Okay. Do you mind if I walk with you and wait on the ramp?
You can do whatever you want.
Okay. All right. Levy County Sheriff is going up to the Jeep right now to be a witness to see that John is sitting in the Jeep in front of the courthouse on a public road, violating the Ohio CPO, ignoring the 500-foot. You can see the deputy speaking with John through the window of the Jeep. Why is he here? He's not being called as a witness. LIEnette tried to dismiss him as a witness because according to her, he knows nothing. So again, why is he here? John's exiting the vehicle.
Now John's gonna play the disabled limping man with the deputy, which, by the way, this video I'm about to share with you was taken the day before as he and Russell are making their big plans for Tubetown. And notice, no limp whatsoever.
John just started the vehicle. Now he just parked across the street. The deputies are heading back towards this way.
He obviously was not aware that you were here. He's now aware, and I told him he has to oblige by the 500.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. So do you have
I
a
have
case
a case number. Yeah,
for
I'll be
me?
making a report, so you have the report.
Okay.
I wrote it down for you here.
Okay.
I don't have my business cards yet, so I'm
That's
waiting for them
fine.
to come in, but I got you right there.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Anything else I can help you with?
No, I'm going to head into court now.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you,
Okay,
gentlemen.
Have a good day.
Okay, you too.
John wants to play the game that he doesn't know that George is there. But he has every bit of knowledge that I'm there because his paramour, LIEnette, is in court with me, Jeremy, of What the Hales. And he has a civil protection order in which he must stay 500 feet away. Now, to be clear, he did not move his vehicle far enough. But it's going to be up to the state attorney to actually press charges on that. Let's cover what happened in Judge Craig DeThomas's courtroom. Which, by the way, Craig, how you doing? I appreciate you being a fan of the channel. I truly do, and watching all the episodes. And I realize if you want an autograph and a selfie of George and I after the trial's all done, we'd be more than happy to oblige. So let's get to the basics of what happened during this time together. I took notes. That's all I did was take notes. And it was quite crazy, to be honest. Judge DeThomasis comes in, and he's already upset. And he's upset at me. You have a YouTuber in a case who YouTubes his life and is fighting for not only his freedom of speech, but now all YouTubers' freedom of speech. And I'm fighting this battle by my own, with my own resources, my own income. My total as of today is over $55,000 in legal fees. And yes, I'm going after LIEnette and Crook for sanctions to be replenished of that. But at the same time, where are they going to come up with it? Somehow, some way, they'll be forced to legally if I get sanctions actually granted. All right, so he comes in and he states that he has some preliminary things that he's going to say to both sides. And he also states that he's going to give 30 minutes to her side, her lawyer, new lawyer to speak, 30 minutes to my side, my lawyer to speak. Which, by the way, the lawyer that she hired is Josh Silverman. Now, it's well known in these parts and in the legal system that Craig DeThomasis, the judge, and Josh Silverman are buddy-buddy like this. As a matter of fact, it was Judge Craig DeThomasis that was presiding over Josh Silverman's divorce. And from what we can tell right now, and again, it's just what we've been able to come up with, it looks like the information could even be sealed, which is going to become important because the judge is going to seal more information and Silverman's going to request it to be sealed as well. So Judge DeThomasis comes in for 12 minutes. He rehashes the same thing over and over and over again that he's already taken hours of doing, his distaste and his dislike of Attorney Feather, which Mark Feather has been absolutely incredible for us, and we appreciate all he's done. He's a quality individual and a heck of a good attorney. And Randy Shockett has been absolutely incredible as well. And let me emphasize yet again, nobody should be contacted. Nobody. This is the story of our life. We share our life. This is news of our life, and you can use it for education. We use it for accountability. We use it in the aspect of remembering what happened, going back to look at what happened so that we can keep moving forward in this case. And you got to admit, it's entertaining as well. Where else are you going to find this kind of entertaining news? All right, so for 12 minutes, Judge DeThomasis goes on and on and on, rehashing the same things over and over and over again. And Feather did not object. Not that he was ever given a chance to, and da-da-da. Mind-numbing. Honestly, it's mind-numbing. And then he's going off on both lawyers for their late filings. Now, you're saying, what in the world would LIEnette's lawyer file for? Well, he filed for a continuance. Jeremy, what'd your lawyer file for? My lawyer filed for complete and total dismissal of this entire thing and sanctions granted immediately. So, where did it end up going to? Well, first, let's tackle this question. Was Russ the Sus in court? Interestingly enough, Russ the Sus didn't show up. Now, did the victim's advocate, Amanda, show up for this hearing? Interestingly enough, Amanda didn't even show up this time, but she was definitely vested last time, and she had to make her snide remarks to my legal team and her face to me. So unprofessional in the court. And we are taking appropriate actions to deal with that. Only we should be taking appropriate actions. Only George and I. That's it. Nobody else at any time, as I've said from the beginning of all of this in Otter Creek. And I will re-emphasize it again and again and again. I will say it. Nobody should be contacting anybody. And these videos are not meant or should be interpreted as communication with individuals that are actually brought up in these videos. This is news. It's a story. I was watching a Netflix documentary on somebody who claimed they were abducted and they were kidnapped. And then the police said that they were the real life gone, baby gone, and that they staged it. And all the defamation, and they went on and they stated that they were getting death threats, they were getting, you name it. I mean, the police department defamed them, didn't take them serious. And what happened? It was real. It was serious. And did the news stations get silenced? Or did the news keep promoting the news? Did the news station get injunctions on them and state that, oh, by the way, you can't present the news because all of a sudden they're getting nasty messages from people who actually viewed it? No. The news continues to go on and promote the news. And YouTube is the largest media platform in the world promoting news. And this is our news story. So what happens? Well, Silverman, her lawyer, objects to the motion for dismissal, objects to the motion for sanctions, and he asks for continuance. Yet again, remember, this has been going on for how many months now? And this is an injunction. It's an injunction. Literally, it's an aspect of an injunction, okay? And it's been going on for months and months and months and months. And really, I'm the one that's on trial, even though it looks like LIEnette is the one on trial. And once we get to the actual final hearing, you will see that to a T, she will be placed on trial. And after that, she will be placed on trial. And now she knows a little bit more about that. But I'm going to tell you why here in a little bit. I took notes. What else am I supposed to do when I'm sitting there? So he asked for continuance with understanding that there are pending criminal charges coming. And he states specifically for both sides. So both sides. Now you have to understand that she's made allegations and reports that I've broken the injunction here in Florida, which I have not.
Emphasis on temporary.
Emphasis on temporary injunction. There is no permanent injunction. It's completely, totally temporary. It basically says I can't go within 500 feet of her, which I would never want to anyway, except for the safety of driving on my own road to have access to all my own legal property, which the judge legally cannot take away from me, and yet he has. Okay? No communication. We blocked her on everything, every social media aspect. We have blocked her on totally everything, and this was back in the beginning of 2023. She's psychotic. We don't want to hear from her. So the aspect of an injunction really does nothing to us except we, meaning me, have to drive out in a highway where somebody just died yet again last week. And they had the entire highway all shut down. Even if I wanted, if at that point I was coming from the school to get over to the ranch house, I could not legally get to my own property. Number one, safety, but number two, legally. So now you're going, okay, well, Jeremy, they're unsafe. They're very unsafe. They're very unstable, and they have firearms. It's not okay. And yet now I have to put myself in another unsafe situation in a high accident area where people are dying on a weekly, if not monthly basis. It's not okay in my book. But he asked for the continuance with understanding that there are pending criminal charges, and what he says on both sides. I'm going to emphasize that on her side. She's actually broken the civil protection orders, and John Crook has broken the civil protection orders, as you just saw earlier. And I've yet to break anything. I've exercised my freedom of speech, and I'll continue to exercise my freedom of speech as everybody else in the world should. And I'll continue to fight for my freedom of speech as I fight for every other YouTuber's freedom of speech. He says he wants to depose me. He wants to have a deposition of me. And he says he needs additional time in this continuance for John Crook's deposition, which previously he had messaged and said, nope, it ain't gonna happen. And now he's saying there needs to be more time. And he says there will be no more depositions for LIEnette. Well, we'll see what the judge has to say that. And he asked for an additional 2 to 3 weeks just to get up to speed on this. Now, I think it's a good time to emphasize that somebody granted her, grant is the wrong word, somebody gifted her $7,000 for a lawyer. Okay. Now, there wasn't just one lawyer in the courtroom. There were 2 lawyers in the courtroom. That's $800 an hour. That's $7,000 is basically almost gone, and we're not even to the point of depositions and nowhere near the actual final hearing. There will be no money, okay? It's just burning through it. You might as well just put a fire to a flame to $100 bills. Like, it was completely and totally ridiculous. But let's keep going on. All right. So I have here that continuances were granted based on her. Oh, okay. I see. There's a lot going on. I have to read my own writing sometimes. Okay, so continuances were based on her dodging the depositions twice. And so what her attorney said, Silverman, was, listen, you've already given Jeremy continuances. Remember, those continuances were based on her dodging her deposition. Not once, twice. John dodging a deposition. Not once, twice. And the funny thing is why would he want to depose me? I mean, he's going to ask the question, did you ever tell anybody to contact LIEnette? No. Oh, okay. Well, I guess the deposition is done. I mean, that's the reality of it. Now, will he ask more questions? Sure. What are the answers going to be? No. I promise you, I will not plead the fifth in anything, okay? And he actually requested that the deposition not be videoed, and I've already asked that it will be videoed. I want it for public viewing because it's public information in a public court case, and they're trying to bury this so nobody can see it. It needs to be seen. Okay. It's news. All right, judge states that he must, oh boy, this is the best part. The judge emphasizes, not to the court, but to Jeremy Hales. And I must emphasize to Jeremy Hales. By the way, his emphasis is the aspect that he's watching. He absolutely is watching what the Hales. And he says, I must emphasize that I must accept the petition as true because that's the law. Okay. You've denied the petition 3 times based on not enough evidence. That's the law. And now he's saying in court, all recorded, and you're going, am I going to see the actual video footage? We'll get to that. Now he says he has to accept the petition as its truth because that's the law. Even if LIEnette is lying, which she is, you know that, I know that. You've been watching the entire story. He hasn't seen the other aspects of the story yet, even though I'm sure he's having fun binge watching right now. She's lying through her tooth. It's a tooth, okay? So he then goes on to say that he regrets allowing LIEnette's deposition. All right, so how many times has Judge DeThomas said he's regretted something? Number one, he said he regretted pushing or stating that my attorney, Mark Feather, should contact her and try and work this out. And he's later stated, well, I regret saying that. Because now LIEnette went and said, well, he bribed me with money, which never, ever happened. I will never give this woman or this man a penny. Nothing. I will spend every last penny I have to fight them to make sure they never get anything. Okay? And so he says now he regrets that he allowed her deposition, which is interesting if it's due process in the court of law. Now he regrets allowing due process. I have a problem with that. I would assume most of you do as well. He also says that, well, at that point he goes on and he's going after, he's literally verbally attacking Feather for allowing me, his client, to have the videos of court. Well, first of all, you don't know where I got the videos. I can get the videos from anywhere, and so can you. You can request them any which way. And so anybody can request these videos of court. And I emphasize that anybody can request these videos, and it's public information. They can't keep you from posting, okay? Now, they're attempting to keep me from posting, and I will get to that, but anybody can request these videos. This is public information, and it's news, and the public should know about this. They should understand when their rights are being attacked. Freedom of speech. This is just, it goes beyond this little thing of an injunction. Because right now you're going, Jeremy, you have $55,000 invested in an injunction against you. Who cares? You don't ever want to be around her. Granted, yeah, we don't want to be around her. You don't ever contact her. Absolutely agree. We do need to protect ourselves. We need our firearms because of people like her, because there are stalkers out there. We need our own personal protection. We don't need to be going out on the main highway and getting killed that way either. And so this isn't about an injunction anymore. This is about protecting your First Amendment freedom of speech. And every YouTuber, frankly, every YouTuber should be joining myself in a case, maybe even a class action lawsuit. this is just insanity. How big this is blown out of control right now of them trying to control speech. Let's keep going on. Okay, and then he goes on in the aspect of the deposition. Was LIEnette safeguarded in the aspect of the deposition video that I shared? Okay, and then he literally goes on to say that these postings and what the Hales has created a lot of collateral damage. Now, Judge DeThomasis is completely and totally mad at me. There's no doubt. Now, collateral damage, what does he mean by that? Well, he goes on to explain that, and I wrote it down somewhere else. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. I might have tore that one out. He goes on to say that he, the judge, and the court has received hate mail, hate phone calls, threats of harm, and all of this is disrupting the court. So let me clarify yet again. Number one, George and I will handle this legally. We have never asked anybody to contact anybody or to do anything, and nor will we ever ask anybody. We ask you to not do anything and learn and be entertained from this. And entertainment can be educational entertainment as well. It's news. Do not contact anybody in regards to this. I've said this from the very beginning. I'm going to keep saying it over and over again. Now, if you're a thinking man, like I'm a thinking man, you would go, wait, but LIEnette and CROOK are a part of this. And if LIEnette and CROOK and some of the scummy people that they're aligned with want to get Jeremy in trouble, they would make hate mail and hate phone calls and threats. There you have it. All right, if you're a true What the Hales fan, I already know you're not the one doing this. If you're a true LIEnette fan and she has made herself a public figure, you're doing this on behalf of her, which makes her liable. You understand, I can go after her for this. Right now, that judge is holding on to communication directly or indirectly. And if people are associated with her and they go back and they find out they're associated with her, just like a person who's associated with her giving $7,000, just like anything else she's posted, just like, I could go on and on to other people who have posted other things on her behalf, right? Horrific things. Hate. You got Victoria Munsell creating hate pages, putting up hate videos. That's just one aspect. They're all incriminating her. All in all, Judge DeThomasis is mad at me. And I didn't even get to speak one word. Which brings me to the point, this is the quietest LIEnette has ever been in court. She did not say one word. And let me tell you, it was glorious. Although she kept leaning over to whisper to Josh Silverman, her lawyer, and her lawyer ignored every aspect of her words and her leaning. He would not budge. He just kept looking at the Thomases. And she would lean in, and you could almost see it in his nonverbal, like, get that thing away from me. And he would not acknowledge her at all. He has no idea what he stepped into. He has no idea, and he's about to find out in a real hurry what he's actually stepped into. There's no doubt Judge DeThomasis is extremely mad at me. Extremely. And you're going, Jeremy, why would you want to make the judge mad at you? Why would the judge want to make me mad at him? He's taken away my freedoms. He's taken away your freedoms. You think he's mad? I'm mad. I'm literally putting my life on the line every day going in a high accident area. Going by their property, which is 1.66 acres, across from my 70 acres, which I need to go through because that's the direction to my other property, the schoolhouse. They put my life in danger every day. My life is in even more danger out on the main highway with so many more people. If I'm going past their house, I can speed by before they could actually hit me with a bullet. If I'm going out on the main highway, that is speeding bullets coming from me at every direction. So he's mad. I guarantee you, I'm madder. I've had it with the aspect of freedoms being attacked. It's not okay. Not okay at all. And he has also stated that all further depositions will be sealed. So, George and I have full deposition of LIEnette. And obviously, LIEnette doesn't want you to see that. You're going to see how literally psychotic this woman is. And we've already shared some portions of that. I mean, this stuff will literally make you vomit. It's so hideous. And to think that there is a child in her care living through this, it's beyond sad. Beyond sad. So now what the judge has done is all depositions are now sealed in the court. In other words, my freedom of speech has been sealed until after the trial. Now, could he do something after the trial to still silence me? He can. Will I fight it? Absolutely. I will fight it on every aspect to my last breath and my last penny to fight for the freedom of speech that we have. He has sealed all depositions. So while George and I had every plan to release depositions, the deposition for the remaining of, who knows how many days. Maybe this is a good thing because we didn't want to make the world sick by watching this. And the things that we actually know about her and we haven't shared yet would make people vomit. He did seal it. As a matter of fact, he sealed John Crook's upcoming deposition as well. He denied the aspect of continuing LIEnette's deposition. Again, remember, he said he regretted allowing it in the first place. Did he give a reason? He said YouTube. Okay, well, YouTube is a place for news. And YouTube is a place for public information to be shared. Not to mention, I paid for that. I paid $2,000 for that. But he doesn't like it. But he did approve Crook's deposition, which Crook has dodged 2 times so far. And he put a limit on it. He said 3 hours is all that you can depose Crook for. And then her side wants to depose me as well. And therefore, he put the same limit on me, 3 hours of a deposition. Now, I seriously doubt it's ever going to take 3 hours for me. Because number one, I don't talk and run around sentences in the aspect of nothing like LIEnette and Crook. I will answer a question, yes, no, I don't know. Now, he's going to try and get me to ask a question and say, did you have people contact her? No. Okay. Well, did you post videos? Yes, I have freedom of speech. I'll post any video I want that doesn't break the law. It's really that easy. That's what it comes down to. And then it got to the point of, all right, he's going to grant the continuance. So he did not dismiss the case. He's granted the continuance. He's shared how upset he is. He used some words. What were those words again, George? What were the words he used? You wrote them down.
I don't remember. I know
Complete and total embarrassment.
embarrassing was one. So the 2 words that I could think of, I forget the word that he used before. I have to look at my phone. But annoying
That was me.
was probably
Directed towards me, said I'm annoying.
and then
Embarrassing,
which is
directed towards
probably-
LIEnette.
because she's
Yeah.
an embarrassment to herself.
Yeah.
She should be ashamed of herself and embarrassed by the way she's acting as an adult. This is a woman that's 61 acting like a child.
Toddler, if that. Okay, so then he goes, all right, what are we going to do for the continuance? What's the date? He pushes for February 9th. And there was an issue with February 9th with my lawyer because he had another deposition for an expert witness. He said, if I absolutely have to, I'll try and push it. And so they looked at their schedules again, and then they came up with February 5th. And Thomasis said, no, her side needs more time for evidence. Again, that's just more money. Remember, I'm $55,000 in so far. She's only been given $7,000 that person will never, ever see again. And if you give this woman any money, you'll never, ever see it again. You will never, ever, ever see it again. I can't imagine how anybody should be so foolish to give this woman $7,000 that they'll never see a penny again. She can't come after me for anything. She can't get any money from me. She'll never see that money again. And that child is not going to benefit from this. What you're actually doing by giving her money is you're making sure this child is in a neglectful and abusive environment even longer, instead of it being cared for in the courtroom and the child being saved and the animals being saved and the people of Otter Creek being saved. March 1st. Then they come up with March 1st and Judge Thomas says, no, that is way, way too far out. And then we come back to February 9th. Now, here's something that she found out today because we have an expert witness flying in from Tennessee. And she knows now, and I'll share it with you, it's a handwriting expert. And you can already imagine what we're doing and what the report of this handwriting expert is. And I can share with you very confidently, because of this handwriting expert, she's going to jail. Criminal charges, going to jail. And so the handwriting expert cannot make it, okay? Because her daughter is having a baby the following day on the 10th. So Judge Thomas does say, all right, as much as I hate to do this, I want this gone, I want it out of the court, we're going to go to March 1st, okay? And the conversation just keeps going on and on. He continues to say, listen, Jeremy's going to continue to have a temporary injunction, and an emphasis on temporary, based on the law that he has to take the petitioner's word as truth until it's actually cross-examined and shown as pathological lying. And then the temporary injunction goes away. And to what I said to my lawyer, the temporary injunction means nothing to me. I don't want her anywhere near me, nor do I want to be 500 feet within her or him. I don't want any communication. We already have established that. I have a civil protection order, but I need to...
Not to mention the cease and desist.
Well, we can go back to cease and desist. We can go back to everything. I need to drive on my road so I don't die out on the highway. And if I die out on that highway, if I get in a major accident out on that highway, could you imagine the lawsuit that's going to happen towards Thomases? And you're going to go, oh no, qualified immunity. Towards the court system, and you're going, no, qualified, no. They are 100% going to be liable for this. 100% going to be liable. And so I go, hey, I have no problem. Temporary injunction doesn't change my life at all. As long as I have my freedom of speech and I can drive safely. It doesn't change my life. It does nothing. Because I don't want to be anywhere near them. I don't want them anywhere near me. No communication whatsoever. Judge DeThomasis actually denies it and says, I still have to go and drive out on the road. As my lawyer goes, listen, somebody just died last week that shut the entire highway down. Jeremy can't even get to his house. So it goes on into more communication. Requested depositions. They are sealed now. And then he puts in the rule of sequestration. I'm not sure exactly. I'm pretty sure I just said that wrong, and I've never heard the word before or the rule before. But basically, in a nutshell, it means as the witnesses come to court on March 1st, none of them can be in the courtroom and hear what the other person has said. They all have to wait outside, and they can't talk outside to one another. Any witness that she brings in, and many witnesses that we bring in, now it's affecting their freedom of speech. They're not allowed to talk. Now, I get the basic understanding of this is, well, you don't want to influence what they're going to say in court. Okay. Well, they're the ones coming forward saying, I want to testify and be a witness in court. How are you going to influence it in any other way by saying you have to sit outside and not hear what's going on in there? But everything is sealed. The videos. Are you going to see hearing 3 in the court? Court still hasn't released it to us. They're sealing it. They haven't given it to us yet. Nor are we now allowed to even share it with you, even though it's public information, on YouTube. Hearing number 4. We're requesting it. And even if we request it and we get it, Judge Thomasis will not let us show it on YouTube. The depositions, even though we have 7 hours of LIEnette rambling and incriminating herself further and further and further. As of right now, I can't show it on YouTube until everything ends on March 1st at the final trial. If it ends on March 1st, the only thing I can share with you is my freedom of speech, even though they're trying to take it away. Should I be doing this video right now? Absolutely. I have a freedom of speech. Do they want me to? Nope. Will it be brought up in court? You better believe it. And I'll continue to fight for my freedom of speech and for yours.